Okay. Thought I would sit and update you here. Some interesting things have happened. I don't really know where to start. I got news on my sister, I got news on Benny, I got news on Trisha's son, and news on my dad. So where do I start? I guess we'll start with my sister. If you watched my last update video, she was going to be living on the streets of Portland because she got kicked out of the house she was staying at. And I told my parents I was worried she was gonna die if she lived on the streets. And I think they knew that was probably true. So they've decided to give her a chance and let her stay with them. So she's been living with them for the last couple of weeks. I don't really know how that's going. They don't really give me updates, but I will try to get her on this video and let her speak for herself. My dad is gonna get back surgery here next week. I'm pretty worried about it. I'm not sure what the condition's called. They told me and I just don't remember, but there's something going on with the spine, or I think it's pinching a nerve, and the nerve is affecting his legs. So he's been not be able to walk very well. That's why he walks with a cane. And they told him if he didn't get the surgery, he would end up paralyzed, I believe is what they said. So he kind of has to do this, even though the surgery in itself is dangerous. So we'll see how that goes. I'm kind of worried about that. And then my sister living there, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're gonna hope for the best with everything here. Trisha's son, okay? Her son is 18, and you know, I've been wondering about him a lot, like where is he living? What is he doing? And all that kind of stuff. So I reached out to his father and I said, well, did he keep Charlie, you know, Trisha's bird? And he said no. He gave him away, and I don't know where he gave him to. I don't know if he put him up for adoption somewhere or just took him to a bird shop. I don't know, but that's really sad because that was one of the only things that Trish had asked me to do, was to make sure Charlie was okay. And you know, taking care of a bird is a lot of work. Not just anyone can do it and just, you know, commit to that level of care. So I really hope he has a good home. And it's sad because when I had originally asked right after she had died, he was gonna keep him. So that's sad. But he also is getting a passport, and I think he's gonna go to Poland because his family's Polish. His grandparents, her parents, live in Poland. So I think he's gonna be staying there for a while. I'm not sure if he's moving there. I don't know if it's just a trip. I don't know. So that would make sense why they didn't get him a new apartment. So I thought that was interesting and that you might want to know that. The Benny news, I can finally use his name. Can you believe this? I can finally use his name. I used to have to call him the crazy person just because I didn't want to be blamed for anything or have anything held against me or get him angry and have him do something to me or somebody else. You know, you just don't know, because he is a psychopath. I have been dealing with that a lot. I've been dealing with that whole situation for years, and I haven't been able to talk about it because he watches my videos. And I was really worried about what he was doing when he watches my videos and how he was, I don't know. You just don't know crazy people. It's just been a whole bunch of craziness, and I'm gonna make a big video about it. And it's gonna be a really big deal because what ended up happening is a lot of his ex-girlfriends contacted me because of the YouTube channel. They watched the YouTube videos and they reached out to me and they were telling me about how he did the same thing to them. And so he has a long list of history of abusing women, physically and mentally. He pretty much just tortures you and you just can't get away. He just traps you in ways. And one of the ways I've noticed that people try to trap you is try to get you into a financial situation with them where you're forced to pay for something and you don't want to ruin your name. I fortunately already knew that about people, so I did not get in that situation, but one of them did, or maybe more of them. I didn't ask. So I've been having interesting conversations with them about their experiences with him and how bad it was. And you know, I thought for sure when somebody gets a plea deal from, you know, the DA, that you either have to take that plea deal or you challenge it in a trial. So I found out that's not true. I found out you can just not accept the plea deal, say you're gonna be guilty, say you're pleading guilty, but to say I'm not taking the plea deal and try to have the judge, you know, decide something. And I do know from some of my crazy experiences that lawyers can go and talk to the judge behind everyone else's back and make arrangements with things. And, you know, when someone's a psychopath, they have really figured out how to look good, you know, how to fool everyone into thinking that they aren't a bad guy. They aren't bad, you know, because they have to. Because if they showed themselves of who they really are, you just would never be around them and all that. So, you know, when the mask falls off, you know, that's what's really scary. And that's what I've experienced a couple of times with different people in my life. And you just don't believe it. Honestly, like, I'm now going to be so worried about meeting new people, and then if they seem like they're a really kind person and they're really complimenting me a lot, I think I'm gonna think that there's something wrong with them just because of my situations of somebody, you know, and maybe that's not fair, you know, that can just be they're just a nice person, and but then that's, you know what I mean, you know. So what ended up happening was they gave him probation instead of prison time. He was supposed to go to prison for 4.5 years and then be on probation when he got out for like 5 years. That was what the plea deal was. But because apparently you can reject a plea deal, which is what he did. I don't even know how he did this. I don't even know you could do this. The judge then said, you know, because it had been so much time, you know, because I didn't go and arrest him right away. You know, they had let over a year go by before he was even arrested, and he was arrested because he got arrested for something else and they ran his name. So that's how that happened. And I guess the argument was it had been so much time and they were just worried about me, you know, is he going to hurt me? They weren't thinking, what about all other women he could meet, other women he's going to date and do this to? And that was the whole reason why I pressed charges and made sure I stuck with it, was because it was important that I broke the chain. You know, I felt that I had a responsibility, you know, to stop it. This happened to me. I know this is the kind of person he is. He goes around and abuses women. And if I stop it now, he's not going to be able to do it to the next person and the next person. But they were just going to let it be like no big deal, which is shocking to me. You know, he kicked in my door, he strangled me, he slammed my head repeatedly into my kitchen floor, he threatened to slit my throat open, he put me in a car trying to take me across town and I had to jump out at a stoplight and call the police. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me why you would just give somebody probation. And they said on this probation, if he has any probation violations, which means he can't drink alcohol, he can't smoke weed, he's supposed to go into, you know, for checkups, or I don't know what you call it, meetings with your probation officer, I don't know, okay, what they call it. Anyways, if he has any violations, he's supposed to go to prison. That's what they told me. Well, after me, he has strangled 2 new women. And he got a completely new girlfriend after me and then after her. So the one girl, I don't know if I'm going to use her name yet, but I think she's going to agree to be on a video about this. And she's really cool and she's really interesting. You'll like her. She really pushed. She's good on keeping on people. And she made sure that there was no excuse for not having the new police reports. Because there's like a delay when things go through, and if some things are from different states, you know, sometimes they don't get forwarded over right away. And because he was going in for a probation violation on my case, she wanted to make sure that the judge had, you know, all of the new charges. And we're talking a lot of new charges. You know, we're talking like three counts of strangulation and, you know, all kinds of stuff. I would have to look at it again. But it was a whole lot more than mine. And I just think that he's getting worse from talking to them. My, you know, it was blood was starting to get involved, and there wasn't blood in my situations, and so he was just getting more and more violent and more evil. And he would say stuff to her like, I'm gonna, I'm not gonna get in trouble. I can do what I want. I'm not gonna get in trouble, like stuff like that. And he's just, the definition of a psychopath. And that's not me being funny. Antisocial personality disorder is a real thing, and that's what he has. And that's the other thing that was so sick about this situation, is his lawyer, who was supposed to be a court-appointed lawyer, actually sent me very inappropriate letters with his letterhead on it from his lawyer firm, pretty much trying to make fun of me almost. I felt like it was trying to hurt my feelings and trying to convince me of other conditions he has that he's been working on. And I'll share that letter in another video, but I don't want to bring it out right now, drag down the whole video right now. But it was pretty much, from what I gathered, trying to make me not call him a psychopath anymore, and just to call him this other thing. But he is a psychopath. He has admitted that to me, and I do know that. So we'll just add on these other things. So he can be bipolar, and he can have this and whatever else. If you want to add that to the list of psychoness, that's fine with me. But you're not going to convince me that you're not a psychopath. I witnessed it. I know what I saw. I know what I saw. And he takes antipsychotic medication, so I know. Anyways, I couldn't believe that. And when I had spoken with, I don't think it wasn't the district attorney I was talking to. It was the victim's advocate, because they give you a victim's advocate person, and they're not very good, to be honest with you. They really don't know what they're doing. They're trying to play therapist, it seems, and it's pathetic, honestly, because I don't really have training like that. Anyways, she told me, because I said, look, like, this is what he wrote, this is what Benny's lawyer sent me, this is really inappropriate. And I said, it looks to me that this lawyer is okay with being publicly known for supporting men that beat women. And she said yes. Oh wow, he's okay with being publicly known as being a man that supports men beating women. So there's a lot of scary stuff going on, there's a lot of sick stuff going on. This is why, like, I'm not doing that great, and I try to make the best of everything, but it's like, what can you do? Some things are just out of your control. You do the best you can with the information you have at the time, and some things you just can't control. You can't control what other people do. So what ends up happening, this long situation, I'm trying to simplify it for you, because his other ex-girlfriend, the one right after me, pushed, making sure the judge had, all of the brand new police reports of all the brand new charges. During that hearing, he decided to sentence Benny to prison. So Benny's on his way to prison now. I believe 5.5 years, and then 4 years on probation when he gets out, for my situation. Now, that's not the other girl's charges. So he may be in prison for a very long time. I don't think 5 years is enough for what he did to me, because when he gets out, he can still do this to somebody else. And what if he sits in prison and just gets all worked up about me and blames me, and then comes after me when he gets out? And if he comes after me, it's probably going to be murder, because I feel like he will murder somebody at some point. I get that feeling, and that's not me being dramatic. It's really, really how I feel. And they will agree with you too, the other ex-girlfriends of his. They will tell you the same thing. So when that video is made and all of that, because that's just, making that is going to be such a healing thing to me. I'm going to feel relieved. It's going to feel validating, and I need to do it just for my mental health. So look forward to that. That's going to take a lot out of me to make. So who knows when I will have the mental strength to do that. But I also want to make absolute sure of all of these things. You know what I mean? Like, part of me, I've been surprised along the way with a lot of stuff, thinking, well, he was going to go to prison, and you thought for sure they were going to go and get him right after the situation, but they wouldn't go across state lines. It's like, okay, yeah, makes sense. Anyways, I seem like I'm always dealing with something bad, and it's just, it's draining. You know, it is. And that's why, you know, I kind of throw myself into these simple things like perfume, being excited about perfume, because it's something that no one can take away from me, and it's something that's non-offensive and something you can enjoy, and really anyone can enjoy it, you know, that stuff. And that's why I like photography, because it's something fun to do that you can just do for free, and it's creative, and I enjoy creative things. So that's what's been going on. So we'll see what happens. Wild animals. It is Sunday. I do need to get to my parents' house. My sister will be over there. It is also Mother's Day. I was going to bake an entire Dolly Parton cake with my sister, but I guess she went and told them, and they said they don't want a cake. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do now, or if I'm going to do anything at all, because that just ruined everything I was going to do. So I filmed a little bit of stuff, and I'll put it at the end here, and I might, you know, go and put some old footage of me and Trish in there, because I had been going through my computer a little bit and reminiscing and all that stuff. So, all right, wild animals, like this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I think you have to hit the bell to get the notifications. I think there's a whole lot of things you gotta push buttons on now. All right, well, I'm glad we got to hang out for a little bit, and at least I have some good news, a little bit of good news. Okay, wild animals, remember to always have patience with people, because we are all going through something. Okay, I will see you next time. So I saw this thing online that said male cats typically don't drink enough water, I guess, and they need more water. I don't know, that's just what it said. Maybe that's silly. Anyways, it said to put a little bit of water on their dry food. If they're a dry food eater like creature, he won't eat wet food. He won't even eat people food. The only people food he likes is red vines, and I don't even think he should have that. You know. So I have added some water to some of his food, and he's trying it. He gave me the craziest look ever when I put it down. Like, did I lose my mind? But I really do think he knows what I say. I said, why don't you give it a try? I meant when the water soaks into the food. Now it's kind of like a cereal almost. But he's trying it. Creature, was that okay? Let's see. Okay, yeah. It soaked in a lot, or he just drank a lot of the water off of it. I don't know. I got this rug at Ross. It's really soft. I think having soft things on my feet kind of makes me feel a little bit better. Anyways, the other weird thing that happened. I keep my laundry detergent in the linen closet, and I noticed this, which has to be laundry detergent, and apparently something about these metal things, even though there's nothing sharp, when you put a big heavy one of the liquid detergent, it cracks part of it and starts leaking down everything. See, I need to still clean that up. But that's what it did. It was dripping all the way down. So, I like to have a variety of laundry detergent. I'm a weirdo like that. I think it's because I like scents. Different. I had to put this upside down because I wasn't sure at first which one of these was leaking. It wasn't obvious, and I couldn't find the hole on any of them. So this was originally sitting the right way, and it leaked. So I go, okay, it's that one. So now I have to have it upside down, and that's made a mess.
Benedict looks really good, but you cannot have avocado because eclair is supposed to have avocado. That's right. Kiss. I love you. We're very, very tight. You love Safeway?
Do you really want all this attention? Because every time we go anywhere, I don't think it's petting. You can't pet him. No.
Not really.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's gorgeous right now.
Okay, did you?
Of course, it's fine.
Okay. Did you want to get? Did you want to wait? Did you want to get, rum? You want to wait for them to leave? Okay. Okay, here I am at the grocery store wearing my North Face jacket. But if I saw somebody out with their pet at a store, I'm not going to go up to them.
Well, I wouldn't either.
If someone had like a monkey on their shoulder, I'm not going to be like, hey. I'm not going to do that.
Thank you. Someone will be with you shortly.
Hi, Mr. Charlie. Yeah. You're Hollywood shit. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Hey, you love Safeway so
At
much.
the distance at the premium liquor cabinet.
Yes. Yeah. He uses alcohol. Oh, hello. How are you? Good. Just had a wife party. Last week.